catch the movers and shakers. The brightest minds from across the country talking about what makes them tick. This is Rock the Talk on indigomusic.com.
All right, welcome to indigomusic.com. Once again, I'm RJ Melbin and very excited today because I have a very special edition of Rock the Talk happening today. And of course, I'm talking to two powerhouse names in the world of advertising today, and very excited to introduce them. First up, I think I'll go for ladies first. So Ritu Sharda, the Chief Creative Officer, North Ogilvy, who's here with us. And of course, I also have Mr. Piyush Pandey, Padma Shri awardee, and also the Chief Creative Officer worldwide and Executive Chairman, India, Ogilvy, with me on the other side. Thank you so much for joining me today on Rock the Talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so first up, Ritu, I just want to address the first question to you because there is this new in-house campaign that you're doing, and it's all over social media right now, and it's called the Kaano Pe Zimmedari campaign. Forgive my Hindi, but so tell me about this campaign. And how did it start? And it's all about, encouraging people to wear masks. And I think a lot of people are not doing it to the extent at which they should be doing. So what was the whole beginning of this lovely campaign?
So thanks, Melvin. First of all, I think your Hindi is great. I think you pronounce Kaano Pe Zimmedari exactly as it should be. So pat yourself for that. We're really happy to have done this. I think this campaign happened, one day, we're all responsible citizens, at least we'd like to be, and a few of us who work and have a platform to work with and a platform that can reach a lot of people would like to do and should want to do something more than just talk and do something that can really make a change, or at least we hope it can make a change. So one day I got a call from Piyush and he, we were just talking, and Piyush said, we should do something. A lot of people are not wearing masks, and a lot of young people are not wearing masks. The so-called people who consider themselves cool and educated, and it's a big cause of concern. And he said, we should do something about it. So we got talking, and then we've got a really lovely team here in Delhi, a bunch of young kids, young boys and girls. And when I told them, that we need to do something about it. And I think they were in the age group of people who are really not wearing masks. The elders are responsible, the youngers need to be responsible. It's the youngsters who don't wear masks. So that's where this whole thing happened. And we came up with Kaano Pe Zimmedari. And I think it's a brilliant line. It was cracked by a guy called RJ Pandey in the team.
Okay.
And, the moment we heard it, we loved it, because what it did was, everybody says mask pehno, wear a mask. And that was becoming a blind spot, for a lot of people. Suddenly, when you change it to say the responsibilities on your ears, it just made people stand up and take notice. And I think from then on, with thanks to Piyush, we got a lot of support, and a lot of people came forward to support it. And I think that's where it all started.
All right. Piyush, sir, you have to cut in for this because another Pandey cracking the line, something in the surname?
No, I think the younger are better.
All right. And what has been what do you think is the biggest challenge when it comes to youngsters not wearing masks? Also, they have less to lose because, COVID-19 is more dangerous to the elderly. So they need to be more responsible. So what do you think is the biggest challenge? Why do you think you're not wearing?
I think the biggest challenge is to all of us, no matter what our age is. Biggest challenge is to join a worldwide campaign of trying to be careful. And actually, when I first got the call, it came from a very, very senior doctor, Dr. Jagannathan from Leelavati Hospital, through a very eminent researcher called Rama Bijapurkar, saying that you guys know how to speak to youngsters. Why don't you do something?
Okay.
So I spoke to Ritu and the youngsters responded. If the youngsters can respond to a creative call, then their call can respond to the idea of wearing a mask.
All right.
So
All right. And also, you've really made it. You've really made it quite fun using materials at home and using their creative process as well. I mean, if people are creative enough, they can come up with something unique. And so, making a mask an accessory, I think, does help, doesn't it?
It does, and I think Ritu is better placed to answer this. But she was working with a team of youngsters,
right,
who were drawing it, who were voicing it, who were writing it.
Right.
My role was confined to chatting with Ritu and speaking to some very people that I'm really grateful to. People like Mr. Bachchan, people like Ajay and Kajol Devgan, people like
right.
Z, people like ABP, who helped us take it to people. So Ritu.
Right. Yeah, Ritu, why don't you fill in?
So, how we approached this whole thing was that this is a very peculiar thing that happens not just here, in many parts of the world, that if someone else is not doing it, why should I? We tend to follow it, like, if nobody seems to be wearing it, so why should I? So what we did, and we've got two more of these spots coming up, but in the first three we took away all the excuses, and we did it in a very polite sarcasm sort of way. So, like, the first one said, if you think nobody is wearing it, he's wearing it and she's wearing it and she's wearing it and he's wearing it, so why aren't you wearing it? Okay. The second one attacked another excuse that, and this is a very common tendency that, I've been guilty of doing, that I'm just going around the corner. I'm just going till here. I'm just going till there. So I really don't need to wear a mask. So we picked that up. And in the third one, so if you see, these were all the conversations were happening around us. In the third one, we've seen so many videos and hacks on how to make a mask at home. And people are actually wearing a mask. So we took away a third excuse, that you can't even say that you don't have a mask, because you can, everybody is making it from so many things. So one by one, we went on to excuses that youngsters made. And of course, we wanted to keep it extremely fun and not serious and not preachy, to put off people.
Yeah.
But keep it like, there's Piyush's one. Rather serious looking mask. So
it's very important to keep it fun, just so that the youngsters will listen and will follow the rules. And also, Piyush, sir, I want to ask you this. Wearing a mask for you hides something that defines you, which is your mustache. But I think you made a mask. You made a mask with. All right, yeah, that works. That works perfectly. So, was this your own idea, or did someone point that out? Hey, maybe we should maintain the look.
I think everyone's doing it, and the idea of mustache is my wife's idea. She keeps making all the kind of fun masks. Everyone is making great masks around the world. So we are doing a little bit.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, and what's been the response to this campaign so far, Ritu?
I think it's been fantastic. I think, the first time I heard Kaano Pe Zimmedari from my team, I jumped up and I was excited to take Piyush through it. And I think Piyush loved it immediately. So we always judge, we always know how something will do when we respond to it as humans, literally from our gut. So the moment we heard it, we were so happy when we heard it. And then when the way we executed it was so much fun that, we got the similar response from people. Everybody just loved it. People have really spoken about it. People have made their own versions of it. So it's been great. And I think Piyush spoke to Mr. Bachchan, and I'm sure he liked it as well, for him to sort of put it up there. So it's been doing really well. It's been doing really well.
Lovely. And
I think I think the most wonderful thing happened a few days back when we saw a Odia version, which has been promoted by the government of Odisha, with their own version. They created their own, but the same concept, with Mr. Patnaik at the end of it. And we said, okay, people are taking notice. That was really good.
All right. And if people still don't listen and refuse to wear masks, I think you can definitely ask them to stick it on with Febi Stick. I think join both the old campaign and the new campaign together. I think that's a great way to really glue it on. I had to put that in there. Piyush, all right, no reaction.
No, I think it's an effort.
Yeah.
We shouldn't take ourselves too seriously. We are doing a little bit.
Okay, lovely. And also, this year, 2020, the pandemic, it's been really, really tough on everyone. And, people are taking time out. People are learning new skills. People are learning lessons that I think no teacher could have ever taught them. So any lessons learned for you both personally during this pandemic?
Ritu, what have you learned?
I really like, I'll tell you, this campaign is an example of what we can do when we're really pushed. When you take away everything, you can't shoot, you can't record, you can't do anything. I mean, this whole thing was done in-house. It was created in-house. It was recorded by the guys who wrote it, sitting in their cupboards. And I think it's just made us innovate so much, and it's brilliant. I think I see a side of all of us that is innovated so beautifully. And to me, this campaign is an example of that. Had we had all the equipment possible, maybe something like this would not have come out. We would have stuck to a format of shooting people. But I think just we've been pushed, we've been forced to innovate, and I think it's great. I think it's just taught us how to do things in so many different ways. All
right. What about you, sir? Any lessons?
See, today you said that you are technologically challenged. I've learned to speak to you on technology.
Right, that is something new that we're both doing, yeah. Yeah, so, well, I'm glad that I am included in this lesson of yours that you've learned. But anyway, what about the advertising world as a whole? How has advertising per se had to adapt to the new norm, as they're calling it?
I'm sure that lots of people are trying a lot of things. So to believe that we are the only ones who are trying would be stupid.
Right.
I think they all creative people from the field of music, cinema, the works they are trying. So we also try.
All right, lovely. Okay, so now we have a fun little segment. It's a rapid fire round. Okay, so I'm going to ask fire questions to both of you, and both of you can answer and try to be as quick as possible, which I'm sure both of you, your whole careers, rely on speed of thought. And so I think that should be easy.
Oh my God. Thanks for the pressure, Melbin.
You take it, Ritu.
Right.
You answer both each time.
Oh my God.
All right. Your first question, if not for advertising, what would you do right now?
I would volunteer at a vet's clinic.
That's lovely. What about you, sir?
I would still be trying to get into advertising.
Wow, very focused. I think people can learn a lot. Moving on to the next question. One thing that you would actually like to strike off your bucket list once things get back to normal. Things that you could not do during this pandemic, something that you really need to strike out.
I don't know. I just like to travel, meet a lot of family I've been waiting to meet. But no, bucket list, no. Okay, Northern Lights. That's been on my bucket list. I would love to go there.
All right, Northern Lights. What about you?
I would like to go and give my colleagues a big hug.
Wow. Always coming from a very warm place, Piyush. All right. Now, this question is directed at you, Piyush, because I know that you're an avid cricketer. You've been a Ranji player as well, Ranji Trophy player as well. Dhoni's most special moment, considering he just retired?
I think Dhoni's special was the day he was born. And cricket made him famous, but he's a good human being.
All right, lovely. Are you a big fan of Dhoni, or are you like? There's always two sides when it comes to Dhoni. There's always.
I'm a fan of many of the people, but I love the way he has conducted himself.
Okay.
And made an influence on the teammates to be a good leader.
And your next question: a current celebrity, a young celebrity, you would like to rope in for a future campaign, Ritu?
A young celebrity? I don't know. I just can't think of any young celebrity. Somehow, I think I can't think of anybody. Somehow.
What about you, Piyush?
I can think of a nice idea, but I think that comes.
I think the celebrities is your domain.
You know what? A lot of people will kick me for this one, but I've never looked for celebrities. When celebrities came into my life, I tried to do justice for them.
Okay, my next question, the biggest mistake one can make in the advertising world?
I think the biggest mistake that people make is they think that nothing will move without them, and I think and that they know it all. I think advertising is a profession where you learn every day. You learn from the youngest person in your team, and you learn every day. And the day you start thinking that without you nothing's going to happen, I think you're gone. I'm just going to add to that, and I think there is a childlike enthusiasm that I've seen working with Piyush, and I think that's what makes Piyush, because he doesn't have that air about him that he knows it all. He has that very childlike enthusiasm to learn, and I think that's what makes him who he is. So yeah, I'm learning from the best, but that's my take on advertising.
Wow, Ritu, every time there's an advertising question, you're really coming forward with the answers. What about you, Piyush?
See, Ritu is very good at writing long copy.
Right.
So I'll give it to you in one line. The biggest mistake you can make is to take yourself too seriously.
All right. I think both of you said the same thing in different ways. Okay, now planned execution or spontaneous brilliance? Which one would you prefer? Ritu?
I think both are important, and in different ways both come. I'm a big fan of something spontaneous happening, and I think sometimes the first reaction to something is the best thing you can do. But then sometimes to take it to people, you need a planned sort of brilliance. So both are important, and both have their place.
All right. What about you, Piyush?
The advertising is like a relay race. It begins with intuition. It begins with the first lap. Then you hand it over to somebody else who runs the next lap, and so that is execution. If Ritu and I come up with an idea that the person executing it can't take it to another level, then we have failed collectively.
Okay.
So there are lots of people who make it come from a lovely idea to a much bigger idea on execution.
All right. So it's a combination of both. There's no one.
It has to be.
All right,
I think it's all about a team. It's never an individual. So different players have to play their role.
Right. All right. A caption or a punchline for the year 2020? Yeah, this one I'm really looking forward to.
I think there's a punch in the line for me for this year.
It's a punch in the line. All right. A punchline or caption for the year 2020? Yeah.
I would say that you're a teacher about things that I didn't know.
All right. The last question. This is not a rapid fire question. This is just, a last message or a word of advice for young advertising beginners that both of you have. Ritu, we can start with you.
Nothing. I think I would say what Piyush said. Don't take yourself too seriously. This is one profession where you can have so much fun doing what you do. So I think it's about wanting to come to work every day. It's about having a lot of fun. I think I've been in advertising for about 19 years, 20 years now. I've had fun every single day, and it's just just have fun.
All right, Piyush?
Play like Vivian Richards. Make your own rules.
Right.
He broke every damn rule and still did it correctly. He was not irresponsible, but he wrote his own rules. So come in and don't think of big names that you have to emulate. You have to beat them.
All right. Lovely, great words of wisdom from both of you. And also finally, before you go, I think you've also given a chance for random people like me and everybody listening and watching this to be part of this campaign. All they need to do is make a mask using materials at home, and they can hashtag on social media to Kanopa Zimmedari, right? Or did I get that right? Or do you want to add to that?
You got that right.
You said it.
All right. And any words of advice to people who should be wearing masks as well?
There is no advice. I can only say that thank you and keep going strong.
All right. Ritu?
I think you're going to be on radio, so to listen to you means Kaano Pe Zimmedari for your listeners.
Right. All right. Ritu, do you want to add to that?
No, I think मास्क पहनते रहिए, कानों पे जिम्मेदारी निभाते रहिए, and it will take us past everything.
Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me on Rock the Talk. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'm very glad, Piyush, that now, as of today, you're a little better technologically as well. And I'm very happy.
Thank you. And look at it that my doorbell also didn't ring.
Yeah, that's also true. It's a complete victory.
Have a nice evening. Have a nice evening.
Too,
I better go get on to. Now I'll have to learn technology to get onto the bloody Zoom call.
Wow, that was such a fun interview, a fun chat there with the one and only Mr. Piyush Pandey himself, along with Ritu Sharda. And of course, Kaano Pe Zimmedari is the campaign out there to encourage you to wear your masks. And I think all of you should be wearing your masks. And the campaign encourages you to do it in a fun way as well. And so do that. Having fun is always great. And for more fun stuff, you can stay right here, indigomusic.com.